Ever started a conversation, then halfway through your mind just blanks? You feel the pressure rising. You're looking at the person. They're waiting. You want to say something cool, smart, or even just something, but nothing comes out. So you awkwardly smile and say, yeah, cool. We've all been there, and some of us live there, stuck in our heads, overthinking every word, terrified of awkward silences, and secretly wondering, why does everyone else have something to say and I don't? Here's the truth. It's not about being extroverted. It's not about being funny or smart. It's not even about talking more. The secret to, mostly, never running out of things to say is actually simple. Not easy, but simple. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact mindset, frameworks, and real-life techniques you can use today to talk better, flow smoother, and never again feel like your brain is buffering mid-conversation. Ready? Let's break it down. Step 1. Stop trying to be impressive. Start being present. Most people who run out of things to say aren't really out of thoughts. They're just filtering everything they want to say through this question. Will this make me sound smart, funny, interesting, or cool? If the answer isn't yes, they delete the thought over and over again. So eventually, it feels like they've got nothing left to say. But the truth is, you had plenty to say. You just judged it to death before it had a chance to live. So here's the rule. Speak to connect, not impress. Let go of being the perfect talker. Instead, be a real one. The pressure drops. The conversation flows. And suddenly your brain stops locking up. Because when you're present, you stop thinking about how you sound, and you start listening to what's being said. That leads us to the next part. Step 2. Become a better listener, not a better speaker. This is going to sound weird, but hear me out. The best conversationalists don't talk the most. They listen the most. When you really listen, not waiting for your turn to speak, you unlock something powerful, curiosity. And curiosity is a goldmine for conversation. For example, someone says, I was in Paris last summer. The average person says, oh, cool, dead end. But a curious person says, Paris? Nice. What part did you go to? Was it your first time? What surprised you the most? That one sentence just turned into 3 new directions the conversation could go. See the difference? If you want to never run out of things to say, stop worrying about what to say next and start listening to what's already been said. Because the truth is, the next thing to say is always hiding inside the last thing they said. So now that you've removed the pressure to impress and you've learned to listen better, let's go deeper. Because the next principle is where the magic really begins. It's not just about talking, it's about tapping into your natural flow. Real quick, if this is already making you think differently or helping you see conversation in a new light, take a second to like this video. It tells the algorithm you want more of this kind of growth. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, because this is just one of many tools we're unlocking to build your confidence and discipline from the inside out. Let's keep going. By now, you know that trying to impress shuts you down, but trying to connect sets you free. You've learned that the best talkers are the best listeners, not because they have a script, but because they're fully present. But what if you're still stuck? What if you're the kind of person who feels blank even when you are listening? Let me show you the real reason that happens. Step 3. Stop trying to be interesting. Be interested. This might be the most misunderstood communication rule on the planet. Everyone wants to be interesting. We want people to like us, to be impressed by our stories, our jokes, our takes. But here's the twist. People don't bond with you because you're interesting. They bond with you because they feel interesting when they're with you. So stop thinking of conversation like a performance. It's not a talent show. It's a connection game. And connection is built through interest. Ask deeper questions. Be curious. Use this magic sentence. That's interesting. Tell me more about that. It works every time. When someone says they like anime, don't say, oh, same. Say, which one hit you the hardest emotionally? What makes you love it so much? When someone mentions they work in finance, instead of zoning out, lean in. Do you love it? Or is it just a paycheck for now? When you're interested, people talk more. And when people talk more, you have more material to work with. That's how conversations stop feeling forced and start flowing like water. Step 4. Loop the thread. Here's a secret trick elite communicators use constantly. It's called looping the thread. Let me explain. When someone shares something, most people just respond and move on. But powerful speakers bring it back later in the conversation. Like this. They tell you they play guitar. 10 minutes later, when you're talking about routine or hobbies, you say, I guess for you, playing guitar probably helps you unwind, right? Boom. That's called thread looping. It makes the other person feel seen, heard, valued. Because you remembered something they said and reconnected it to the present moment. It shows depth. It makes you magnetic. And the best part? It keeps the conversation going effortlessly. Bonus trick. Stack topics with this formula. Want to know how charismatic people can talk for hours and never run out of things to say? Here's the formula. Observation, curiosity, expansion. Let me break it down. 1. Observation. Oh, you mentioned you travel a lot. 2. Curiosity. What's the most underrated place you've been? 3. Expansion. That reminds me, I've always wondered how solo travel changes a person. Did it change you? This pattern can go on forever. You're not forcing new topics. You're expanding old ones. It's like a tree. The trunk is the topic. The curiosity is the branch. The expansion is the leaf. Keep growing the tree. All right, you've made it to the final piece. By now you've learned the mindset, the listening skills, the flow strategies, but we're not done yet. Let's talk about what happens when even after all of that, you still feel stuck. Because here's the truth. Even the most confident, well-spoken people go blank sometimes. It's normal. What matters is how you respond to that moment. Let's go. Step 5. Master the silence. Here's what no one tells you. Silence is not the enemy. But for most people, silence feels like death. They panic. They rush to fill it. They say random, low-value things just to avoid awkwardness. But awkward silences aren't awkward because they're silent. They're awkward because you make them awkward with your panic. But if you stay calm, if you take a breath, if you hold silence like it's your choice, suddenly it becomes power. Try this. Next time there's a pause, don't rush it. Just smile, hold eye contact, nod, and then restart with, "You know what I was just thinking? That actually reminds me of something interesting. I'm curious. Have you ever experienced, when you master the art of pausing, you become magnetic? Because confidence is not just what you say, it's how comfortable you are with not saying anything." Step 6. When you go blank, get real. So what do you say when you truly feel like your brain is a frozen screen? You name it. Yes, literally name it. Say, "Ha, I just totally blanked out for a second. I had a thought and it just flew out of my brain. Give me 1 second. I know I had something for that. Want to know what happens?" Instead of judging you, people usually laugh with you because they've been there. And instead of losing status, you gain relatability. Nobody wants perfect. People want real. Step 7. Use the back pocket topics technique. Here's one final technique that almost guarantees you never feel completely empty during a conversation, especially with strangers. It's called back pocket topics. Think of them like preloaded safe zones, subjects you're comfortable talking about that most people can engage with. Examples. What's something you're excited about this month? What's a hobby you wish you had more time for? Ever had a moment that completely changed how you think? What's your go-to lazy day activity? Is there a place you've always dreamed of visiting? Keep 3-5 of these in your mental back pocket. They aren't lines. They're launch pads. Use them when the convo dies. You're meeting someone new. You want to go deeper than surface talk. They don't have to be fancy. They just have to be authentic. Running out of things to say isn't a flaw. It's a skill gap. And the good news? Skills can be trained. Let's recap what you now know. 1. Speak to connect, not impress. 2. Listen deeply. The next thing to say is hiding in the last thing they said. Be interested more than interesting. Loop the thread. Bring topics back around. 5. Use curiosity to expand conversations naturally. Embrace silence. Control it. Don't fear it. 7. Be honest when you blank. It's human. 8. Have back pocket topics ready to go. Remember, it's not about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the most tuned in. You don't need to talk more. You need to talk better. And better comes from being present, curious, and honest. That's how you build confidence. That's how you build connection. And that's how you mostly never run out of things to say. Oh.